guys, welcome back to our channel. This is Katie, Charlie and baby Julian, and we would like to welcome you to our Sunday piece. It's going to be a topic video, guys, or a little opinion piece. So if you don't like those, please don't feel like you have to stick around or anything. I just something has been on my mind, and I noticed that lately in our community a lot of people feel free to express their own personal opinion, so I'm just going to do the same here today. I don't consider it drama or anything like that. There's just something that I really want to talk about, and while I'll be doing it, I'm going to change Julian into this little set. I already started changing him, and then I noticed that my camera was not rolling. Don't get me started on that. I'm going to change him into this set, and it's a little poet blouse with diaper cover. I will pair it with booties, and this set originally came with this little sweater. It has a little teddy bear on the back, but I purchased extra sweater, so the teddy bear could be on the front because obviously for photo purposes. So I'm going to put this on him while I'll be talking about something, guys. And let me put this sweater here. I'll start with telling you this little story. I don't want to ramble forever, but I think it's a good comparison story. And there's a lint over there. Okay. So for all of you who have been following me for some time, you know I was born in Europe. I was not born here in the United States. And from my mother's side, I was born into artistic family, or family of artists. My grandfather is a very well-known sculptor. He was also teaching sculpting and arts at university back in Czechoslovakia. When before revolution and before it became two countries, it used to be one country. And then my mom was a professor. Her major was a history of art. And then, so, my grandfather being like really active member of artist society in my country back then, like years ago, it draw like all these sculptors and painters and novelists and writers. They were meeting, of course, together. So a lot of people were coming like for a visit. Like I guess they had a lot of friends in these circles. And when I was about 3 or 4 years old, there's this like little story. And my family, just my mom and my grandparents, love to tell. When I was about 3 or 4 years old, they had like little like party, and there was this painter, very young. He was young back then. Well, young, yeah, in his like 30s or 40s. And I was sitting there on this little like what was it, like footstool or footrest, something like that. I was sitting there listening. For the longest time, I was the only child and only grandchild, so I was sitting there listening to adults just talk. And then there was this psychologist lady who started like a child psychologist. So she started talking to me, and I don't even know what we were talking about or whatnot. That's not the point, guys. This painter was like mesmerized by me as a child, and he was my grandfather's friend, and he decided that he would paint a portrait of me, not right there at the spot, but he did paint a big portrait of me just sitting on that stool, just hugging my doll. And my mom still has this portrait, and that was like years ago. Now fast forward like 35 years or almost 40 years, and that portrait right now, my mom had insurance company coming over, and she was renewing the contract, and that portrait value, the portrait that was painted back then by my grandfather's friend, who in throughout all of these years he became a famous painter and artist. So that portrait has immense value right now. It's like my own portrait. It's a pretty big piece, guys. It's like a little small picture or anything. So he as an artist grew, he improved, and he became well known. Therefore, all of his pieces, the price of and value of his art increased. Why am I telling you these stories? Some of you may think. I have been hearing in this community the word elitist or elitism a lot, especially lately with all this influx of new channels and new collectors. People use this word loosely. Now, what is elitist meaning here? Elitism elitism is a belief that certain group of individuals with like better quality of life, higher intellect, I don't know, wealth, some special qualities or whatnot, and they are kind of like leading the society. They're better than anyone else. So that's basically like characteristic, like what our definition of the word. And I see this word constantly implemented here in our doll community. And when people talk about it, they say that people, like let's say older channels or bigger channels or certain people just love, they're just elitist. They buy certain dolls for a status. They buy certain dolls only from, let's say, master artists or prototype artists or prototypes itself, the prototype dolls, because of the status, all that stuff. Now, I have been in this community for 3.5 years. For in a grand scale of things, I have not been in this hobby collecting or on YouTube for a long time whatsoever, because there are ladies who have been collecting for over a decade, 15 years and more. But I always am very, when I start some hobby, I go full head into it. I do a lot of research. I am very OCD. When I do something, when I invest money into some hobby, I want to know as much as I can possibly, so I know how to invest my money. And I'm sorry how this sounds, but yeah, I have been in the business in sales, guys, for almost 20 years now. And I don't use these babies as a therapy. I use them, I collect them because of the art of them. I love to cuddle them, of course. I love the cuteness, and I need to feel emotions when I'm buying the baby. Therefore, of course, you can see that I don't have a lot of babies in my nursery. I put a lot of thought into buying my dolls, and yeah, I buy certain type of dolls, not because of the status, guys. I don't understand why nobody ever, when they talk about certain collectors, why it's completely impossible in their minds that people may actually love the dolls that they're buying, and they're buying them because that's their preference of style, and they may just love the artist's work or sculptor's work. Yes, I right now I have 7 dolls, 7 babies. One of my babies already have been adopted. Another one is going to be for sale very soon. She's home with her new hair and everything. And I will have 5 babies left for now in my collection. Another one coming at the end of this year. That will make 6 of them. And yes, they all come from their artists are, as of now, all of them come from master artists, either a master artist or prototype artists, or the artists that created my babies, they have some kind of awards. Okay, guys, my phone died, my battery, so I need to go back, kind of like rewind what I was talking about. I was at me and the number of my dolls. Right now I have 7 dolls. 2 of them will be leaving my nursery. One has been adopted, her mom is paying her off, and another one will be up for adoption very soon. And then I'll be left here with 5, one more coming. Now, all of my babies, I can say, yes, they are coming from Iora Master Artists and or Prototype Artists, or each one of my dolls. Why I mention these titles is because I feel these are accomplishments of artists. Having a doll by Iora Master Artist is not really exactly only a collector's accomplishment. The title belongs to the artist. Artists work very hard to get invited into Iora, to get a Master Artist title or any other serious award, because of course Iora Master Artist is not the only one, not the only award that you can get as an artist. There are a lot of amazing prototype artists who are not members of Iora. They have another serious titles. So why I mention it is not because or other collectors, not because they want to be elitist, but because they're paying respect to the title of the artist. It's an accomplishment, and I think every artist who is serious about getting better and growing as an artist, they want to get awards. Of course, we all want to be better, and being awarded to proudly showcase, let's say, Iora Master Artist logo on your nursery, on your social media pages, or any other award. I think it's accomplishment, and artists should be proud of their accomplishment, and I think we should feel free to give them respect when you're going to showcase their work and mention their names on social media. Let's rewind back 4 years ago when I started buying my dolls. Now, when I bought my first doll from Russia, I was actually the first YouTuber of this generation who bought the doll from Russia. And why I bought it, I found this artist on eBay, Svetlana, and I started talking to her, and she made my first custom. That was my first Russian doll, and first doll from Russia here on YouTube. As I said, of this generation, that was my Mishka, my blonde Chloe. She came from Russia, and the hair and everything. I remember sending that baby for some touch-ups and for varnish later on to Mandy Hannon of Chrysalis Dolls. And Mandy wrote to me, she messaged me, and she's like, oh my gosh, Katie, the hair on that baby is amazing. So why I bought that doll, it was not because I wanted to be something else. I just wanted to, first of all, I wanted to support Eastern European artists. I loved what I saw on her eBay. And she was just this beginning artist, not known here in US. And that was 4 years ago. Now she's a master artist. I'm friends with her, but I've been following her since the beginning, guys. Now, the other artists who created my Catherine, my Ramsey, my Julian, my Karolinka, I have been following her and getting the dolls from her for years. She just has been awarded Master Artist title this year. So yeah, I basically have my dolls by Master Artists, but I have been with these artists. Daria, the same thing, Daria Medulyanova. When I got my Etikas, she was not a Master Artist. I got my Etikas in December, and in February she got her first prototype, and ever since she was just getting prototype gig one after another. She was awarded the second year or third year in a row Master Artist title. The only one who was a master artist at the time when I purchased my doll from was Natalie Vetrova, with my second Chloe, my little brunette. And yeah, Natalie was already like really, really well established artist. But I got that doll from her because I just loved it. I was in a search of Chloe, my Chloe journey. It's kind of like my Esme journey and my Saskia journey. When I get fixed on a certain sculpt, I kind of want to see a lot of versions of that sculpt. So I got my blonde, I got my brunette. And yes, I loved Russian work because of several of reasons. But with Paula, same thing. I loved her body. I fell in love. I had no idea if she was a prototype artist or not when I started talking to her. And then she started displaying her award-winning logos out there. So, with my latest baby, with Alicia, I have been following Alicia for years, guys. Ever since she started on Facebook and on Instagram. So it's not... when you say something like that, oh, that person is elitist or not, you have to, guys, understand when you are collecting here in this hobby, and I'm not talking about YouTube because YouTube, as I said a million times, YouTube is 1/5 of collectors community. I really wish that you would, guys, especially newer collectors, if you could see another world and some collections some other people have. It's just like amazing. But to say and to criticize, because this word in our community is mentioned in derogatory way. It's not a compliment, and it's not like I'm just saying. It's meant to hurt when people say that. And I just wish that people would realize how it sounds. Because guys, especially newer collectors, you have to realize that people who have been around for certain amount of time, there is a huge chance that these people already, they have been following these artists for a very long time, since the beginning, since the day when these artists just started, like I did. I have my dolls, but for most of these artists, we're on a friendly we have the friend relationship, because I have been talking to them, I've known them. Same with other ladies. Let's say some full-bodied silicone channel creators here, like let's say Kelly Girl. She said that she has been buying her silicone babies from Claire since the Claire poured her first dolls. So yeah, maybe has it ever crossed your mind that maybe people buy these dolls because they have certain type of relationship with artists? They have been with these artists for years, not because they have their titles. Some of them, they did not have titles. They were just starting. Like when I was starting collecting, a lot of these artists started painting and being artists, and being years and years within a hobby kind of makes people and come across a new contact. And I am really into research, guys. When it comes to new sculpts and new techniques and new artists, and I like to follow new artists. I like to see new styles, always looking for new things. But yeah, I have certain artists that I go back to with when I purchase my babies, because I know what I will get. I know that they know my taste. They have known me for a certain time now, for a long time, many of them, for years. They created babies for me, and yeah, that's why I'm buying from them, not because they have some awards, or certain people saying, oh, they're buying prototypes just to buy prototypes. No, yeah, maybe some do, but I know that I'm going to speak for myself now. My Evie, I would buy that baby, that Sculpt, even if I didn't get the chance to adopt my prototype Evie. I would get that baby uh, done by one of my favorite artists, like no big deal. I had it already all planned. I was talking to few of my favorite artists already about getting the baby done. But then this opportunity came up and I just went after it because, as I said, it's my perfect trifecta. My favorite sculptor, one of my favorite, top favorite artists, and this desire, like dream sculpt or dream sculpt. I know it's overrated and it sounds cliche, but I really loved Evie from, as I said, from the first moment I saw her head in clay. So that's why she really is special to me, and I don't care. I wouldn't even care if she wasn't a prototype. I would still get that sculpt, as I said, either by Alicia or some of my other favorite artists. I just, you know how I collect. I have certain style and I have certain preference when it comes to painting. We all do, I think. And yeah, I don't think that people should be ashamed for what they like. I've never seen anyone personally putting anyone else here on YouTube down because of their dolls or what they buy, what they put on their dolls. Honestly, guys, I didn't come across of that. I follow many YouTubers here. A lot of them are, yes, they are seasoned collectors here on YouTube, many channels, but I follow also newer channels, channels who are just starting artists, and who I love to see their progress. I love to see their journey. I personally don't paint. I don't have time to paint, and I don't know if I would find it relaxing because I am like this crazy OCD perfectionist, and I don't have like a lot of patience with small tasks. So working on little details, I'm not sure how that would go. I would probably have to just slow down with my job and have more time and not to feel pressure to do something. And I love to put pressure on myself for some reason. So anyways, I'm going off topic. What I wanted to say here. So what I wanted to guys say here, it was not to make a drama video or whatnot. I just wanted to express my thoughts on why we shouldn't jump into conclusions about people and label them. Because calling someone this or calling someone that is labeling people without knowing the backstory of each one's, let's say, collecting. If any one of those ladies who have been talking about this and talking about elitism and all this, if they bothered to ask maybe some of the channel creators who have been here around, why do you buy that? Or if they went back to see which dolls they were buying and how they have been collecting, because there is pattern of collecting. And if someone has been, excuse me, I need to kind of like shift here. If someone has been doing something for years and they have been developing the taste very slow and by their own pace, kind of like, collecting of these dolls, it's a journey for every one of us. And it's for me, it's a process to getting to know myself, my own taste, and watching it develop and change over the time. But quite honestly, it didn't really change all that drastically. I have really been following my own taste. I have been really following my own sculpts when it comes to me buying these babies. I'm trying to be careful not to get overly emotional when purchasing dolls, because I could have more babies, but I know it wouldn't do me any good, guys. I feel overwhelmed with large quantities of things, and it gives me anxiety, and I come here not to have anxiety or to relax, maybe to get rid of some, so I don't need more. Even though I sleep sometimes, and I shop a lot. I used to shop for baby clothing and baby gear and all that shebang. You know how that goes, guys. You will tell yourself, okay, I don't really need anything, and we don't need. It's just we just want. And I just wish that people would recognize it and call it for what it is. And the same thing with this elitism. I was reading this study the other day, because I have been hearing this for months and months, and this group and that group, and they're elitists, and they're not, they're this and that. And when I went there to see, my name was mentioned a few times, actually. And I was like, okay, guys, I have been buying from my artists for years, way before they got their awards. So what am I supposed to now? Stop buying what I like, and stop buying from people that I know I'm safe with them. They know what I want, and they create the babies that I like without me worrying. You know how it goes when you find a new artist and you go through custom. You've never seen their work in person. Now with all these doctored photos out there, it's really hard, guys, to decide. So yeah, I'm not just going to stop buying from the artists that I trust, the artists who know me, who know my taste. I've seen their work. I'm satisfied with them. I'm not going to stop buying from them just to please some people on YouTube, and I'm just not. And I was reading this little essay. It was actually a study by Charles Murray. He actually published his new recent anti-elitist manifesto, and he's kind of sometimes he doesn't even make sense over there, because yeah, he's claiming that he's not elitist himself, but then he goes literally the next sentence he goes and he bashes people who went to better schools than him, just because they went to better schools than him. So I mean, you know what I'm saying, guys? I think that people just really need to stop overthinking everything, and just trying to find flaws in other members in this community, or the way what they do, the way how they collect, and just focus on you and your own journey, because there's a lot of things that as a new collector or new collectors have to learn out there, just to protect themselves, to protect their investments, because every baby is an investment. It doesn't matter if the baby is $200 or $2,000 or $4,000, or I've seen that some prototypes by certain artists, they go up to $7,000, guys, for a reborn. I'm not going to say if it's crazy or not. It's none of my business. If people are going to pay that, who am I to say don't do it or it's ridiculous? I personally wouldn't do it. But I don't care what other people do. If they're not hurting me, if they're not hurting others, it's their business and it's their money. And yeah, if they want to buy that doll or other doll, or it's, as I said, it's none of my business. But I just really wanted to address this elitism, because I've seen some people just really getting riled up about this, and I just want to tell them, most of them haven't been in a collecting hobby, in reborn collecting hobby, long enough to know sometimes the backstories, how the other people started collecting, why they collect that way, and maybe it didn't even cross their minds that maybe collectors could be collecting or buying from these artists because the pure fact that they know these artists and they have been buying from them and they trust them and they have a history of client and artist relationship. So that's all, guys, I wanted to talk about. I have been probably going on forever now. Oh my goodness, guys. So anyways, here is little Julian in his little set. I love this little set, guys. I'm sorry, I know for some people this blouse may seem feminine. I really like this. This is a boy set. This is this is a traditional European little fashion piece. For you who don't like little like ruffles on your boys, you can easily switch this blouse for something more like simple. I may actually do it because I love the blouse and everything, but I feel like it is kind of taking away the focus of this little teddy bear, which was my main reason why I put it on him. So yeah, but anyways, I think this is a cute little set. I think it is. The colors are very, very soft, and he looks so precious, this little boy. So guys, thank you again for being here. I'm going to do another video tomorrow morning because I need to finally announce the rules of my giveaway. So please stick around. Hopefully I won't get a lot of hate for this video, but I just felt like I really wanted to say something and to explain. This was not me bashing anyone. I just wanted to explain how things work in this hobby, and not everything is how it looks, guys. So try to think positive, and when you look at other people, try to look at them as other human beings, not someone that you necessarily don't agree, and you just don't like them, and you judge every word what they say and every step on their way. Just maybe keep your minds open. And to all new collectors, try to learn as much as you can before passing judgment, guys. So anyways, we want to wish you a wonderful rest of your Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. And I will see you tomorrow with my little, as I said, another comparison thing and my giveaway rules. So Charlie says, hi, aunties. He's slurping on my coffee, guys. So, and my brain is lacking caffeine. So I better go, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. And till the next time, bye.